What's up everybody, welcome back to a brand new video on Lex Alexas. Today we're going to be covering more championship football. We've got our score predictions for match day 19, the period of the season where we're starting to enter December's run of games. And goodness me, does the schedule look so jam-packed. It's going to be really difficult to keep up with it, but honestly I am up for a challenge and I'm sure you guys will be up for the challenge too. Each time you'll see these videos, you guys have a chance to predict all of these games and to score points for the Let's Alexas Football Prediction League, which will definitely be shown in full in a big update very soon. Regarding the Premier League, on the left hand side of the screen are my predictions. I am aware there's a midweek set of Premier League games as well. I'm going to do them at a community tab, or might even do a separate video on it if I'm feeling in the mood. If you guys want to see a video of random Premier League's predictions, let me know in the comments and I'll consider making one. So I think that's everything that I need to say. If you guys enjoy what you see, please smash the like button, it really helps. 50 likes will be a terrific target for today. Please do hit the subscribe button as well, as we're trying to climb away from 2,000 subscribers. I think 3,000 subs is a brilliant target for this channel to have. And please also share the channel too. All of these things really do help. But without any further ado, let's start predicting for the championship for this weekend. So we're going to start off with tomorrow's game, Preston versus QPR. And I gotta say, I am really struggling to predict this one. Both teams have come in with different fortunes going into this game. Preston, you know, they managed to lose, and pretty heavily in midweek as well, against Middlesbrough, where they lost by 4-0, and their defence was completely torn apart, especially within that first half performance. You've got to give credit where it's due to Middlesbrough, and I will be complimenting them when I predict them. But for Preston's point of view, they were really out of that game and didn't really lay a glove at all, which is very disappointing. QPR, they managed to get their first home win, you know, in quite a while, and I am really pleased for them because it did look very dull for QPR. It's only a shame for them that Huddersfield actually won also in this midweek as well, because they really could have closed the gap. A little bit disappointing in that part, but a terrific win against Stoke City. They would have helped that Stoke did get a man sent off, so I do think the result may have been a little bit more indifferent with it, but I do think QPR were on top when Stoke, you know, started to kind of de-rattle a little bit, and they did actually manage to win relatively comfortably right at the end. I'm really pleased for QPR that maybe that this could give him a good sense of confidence, and honestly I think with the style that Cifuentes has already influenced within this QPR team, I do think they're better equipped than Preston at this moment of time. But I'm bearing in mind, in Preston's last home game, I thought their performance against Cardiff was actually quite good until they went down to 10 men. So I'm thinking, assume, you know, if they can just keep 11 men on the pitch, I think Preston should still churn enough of a performance to turn over this QPR side, who I think are still improving actually. As a prediction, I'm going to go for a 2-1 victory to Preston. I think it's going to be a close game actually, and I do think QPR are capable of a result, and I think Preston fans especially may be feeling a little bit pessimistic about their chances, but I'm basing it on performances. I think both teams have been performing quite well, but I'm going to give Preston the edge with them being at home. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. Next game to predict, what a game don't we have to predict? West Brom versus Leicester. Before yesterday, West Brom were actually third place in the table, obviously because Leeds and Southampton won their games. West Brom have dropped down to 5th place, but they are the in-form team right now, and it's really quite remarkable to see their turnaround. 4 wins in their last 5 games, and they're really starting to cement their place within the top 6 as well. Leicester had a bit of a slip in the midweek. They were 1-0 up against Sheffield Wednesday, but Jeff Hendrick in the 93rd minute for Sheffield Wednesday to give them their 7th point of the season. But it's another situation for Leicester where they did manage to drop points, and because of that their lead at the top has cut from 3 to 1. So a lot of eyes are going to be on Leicester, especially that they are playing first. Ipswich do have the chance to overtake them in the table following that they have got a home game against Coventry. And if Leicester don't get a result here and they don't get 3 points against West Brom, it leaves Ipswich's chances wide open to potentially take that first place from them after this game week. West Brom have been improving. They've been finding the ball at the back of the net a little bit more consistently. If they play anything like they did against Ipswich, where they were so comfortable, I think they could really get a result there and really make things difficult for Leicester. As a prediction, this is really tough to predict, you know. I'm going to back for both teams to get a result, and I'm going to go for a 1-1 draw. I think this feels of an essence of a draw, so I'm going to go for a 1-1 draw. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. Next game to predict is Birmingham versus Rotherham. So Birmingham, unfortunately for them, it's another defeat for them. You feel that they may have turned a corner for picking up a good result against Sheffield Wednesday. However, it is looking like that Sheffield Wednesday are a team which is, you know, don't want to be disrespectful in a way, but they do seem to be a team that most teams can get a good result in. Birmingham had a somewhat tough game against Blackburn, where they're in pretty decent form. They did show a little bit of fight. They went 3-0 down, but then they pulled it back to 3-2, and you thought that Birmingham would now take this advantage to potentially get maybe a draw out of it, which would have been a terrific result from 3-0 down. But unfortunately, it ended 4-2. Sammy Smolnik's eventually really showing his form at this moment. Rotherham, I mean, less said about their performance, the better in midweek. They're still looking for a new manager. They've still not appointed anyone as of recording. A 4-1 defeat they had against Hull in midweek. And honestly, it really could have been more as well. It was a really bad day at the office for Rotherham, and unfortunately going to this game, I don't really see them getting anything out of this. I do fancy Birmingham started a little bit more. I know it is still pretty poor form on Birmingham standards based on what they had at the start of the season before Wayne Rooney came in, but I do think their performances are starting to improve. The only downside, I think, is their defence. If Wayne Rooney can work on that to try and make them feel a little bit less open at the back, then I do think things can improve. As a prediction, I'm actually going to go for a rare clean sheet for Birmingham, and I'm going to go for a 2-0 victory to Birmingham. I just think Rotherham away from home have been quite toothless in all honesty, and I do think Birmingham have got the goals to blow them out of the water. But let me know what you think in the comments down below. Next game to predict is Hull versus Watford. This, I think, is really, really close, actually. And I think not a lot is going to separate both of these teams. Both picked up a win in midweek and both scored 3 goals at least within the process. Hull scored 4 against Rotherham. Jadon Philogene-Bidace with another outstanding performance on this part. And then you had Watford beating Norwich by 3-2. A hard game on paper, and actually they were 2-0 down, so fair play to Watford for fighting back from 2-0 down to win the game 3-2 in the end. Definitely showing great character to go from that bad position to then overcome it. And I do think they can carry that confidence into this game, but Watford's away form has been very, very bad for most of this season. And Hull's home form has been, on the whole, alright. So I do reference that Hull might have a little bit more confidence maybe going into this game at this moment. But both teams should be in good spirits picking up that win in midweek for both of them. So I'm hoping for a nice open competitive game. With a prediction here, I'm going to back Hull City to actually get a result here. And this would definitely strengthen their chances of staying within the top 6 since they currently sit in 6th place in the table at the moment. I'm going to go for a 2-1 victory to Hull. I think they might be able to squeak a result. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. Next game to predict is Ipswich versus Coventry. Now, I've got a ticket for this game, but it's going to be a bloody battle to get there because there actually are no trains running from Chelmsford on that day. So I'm going to have to go on a bus replacement service to get into that game. So I'm going to really try and make it to that game. And honestly, I just hope this game is worthwhile because both Ipswich and Coventry have shown in their recent games that they can ship but also score plenty of goals. So I'm really hoping for a lot of entertainment within this game. Both teams picked up a win in midweek as well. Ipswich very recently beating Millwall by 3-1. That first half performance was scintillating, honestly. It was the perfect response for them after their first away defeat of the season against West Brom. I thought the wheels could fall off, but Wes Burns returning from his shoulder injury did prove to make such a massive difference, and I'm really pleased about that because a lot of fans have been getting on Wes Burns' back when I've attended games, but he really showed how important he is in that Ipswich team. So with Coventry, they managed to get back-to-back wins and quite at a crucial time this season as well. A good win away from home against Millwall, and then also a win against Plymouth Argyle, and 2 clean sheets in a row as well, which they'll be pleased with too. But away at Ipswich at Portman Road, it's going to be very difficult for them, I find, for them to keep a clean sheet there. And I think it's going to be a really, really fun game to watch. As a prediction, I'm going to go for a 3-2 victory to Ipswich. I think we'll get plenty of goals. I think Coventry's forward line are looking a little bit more confident going forward. As long as they don't miss too many gilt-edged chances, I think we'll see plenty of goals. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. Next game to predict is Leeds versus Middlesbrough. Again, like West Brom Leicester, what a game this is going to be. Leeds currently in 3rd, Middlesbrough 10th, but only 3 points off the top 6, and they could really, really need 3 points here. They had the perfect response after losing to Bristol City in the weekend, beating Preston North End by 4-0. It was incredible how easily they dispatched Preston, considering that Preston had been building a little bit of a reputation of being somewhat good at the back. They definitely made them look very ordinary defensively within that game. And honestly, with Leeds, they don't tend to start games all that well. I've seen it as a bit of a common trend for Leeds, but when they grow into the game, my goodness me, they are incredible. And again, their front line is incredible. The combination of Somerville, we have got Rutter, Pirro, Dan James. The 4 of them really complement each other really, really well. And I really do think that this front 4 is going to take some doing to try and nullify. And I think, again, likewise with the Ipswich and Coventry game, I think we're going to see many goals. And even with Middlesbrough's last away game, when they lost 3-2 to Bristol City, they fought back from 2-0 down to draw 2-2 at a good portion of the game. So I have a feeling Middlesbrough aren't going to make it too easy for Leeds to get a result. As a prediction, I'm actually going to go for that scoreline. I'm going to go for a 2-2 draw. I think Leeds will start well, but I think whilst Middlesbrough grow into it, I think it's going to be an absolutely cracking game to watch. I really do hope that both these teams deliver a treat. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. Next game to predict is Millwall versus Sunderland. Now, these are 2 teams that are not proving to have great form at the moment. So Millwall have lost back-to-back games, 6 goals conceded in their last 2 games as well. It felt like when they did beat Sheffield Wednesday by 4-0 that things were going to turn a new corner, but this is another common theme. Beat Sheffield Wednesday convincingly, you think you've turned a corner, and then bang, you're shot back to planet Earth, unfortunately. And Millwall have had exactly that. They've having issues with putting the ball in the back of the net, 100%. But they're even having problems defensively now, and that was something that we never really associated with Millwall. Sunderland have now had back-to-back defeats as well, which I'm saying is a little bit more surprising. And they definitely had the shock of midweek, losing at home in the Stadium of Light against Huddersfield Town, who were 21st, by 2-1. Huddersfield had a game plan, and they executed it to perfection. And Sunderland really would be regretting that they missed the amount of chances that they did miss, and performances just below par in general. They could look into this game with Millwall low in confidence that they can try and get a result. But honestly, I don't really back either team to get a result based on how they performed quite recently. And as a prediction, I'm going to go for a 1-1 draw. It feels like to me that both these teams will go into this game a little bit nervy. I think this one could be not quite as open as the other ones that I've been predicting, hence the lack of goals. But I think both of them will get a draw. So I'm going to go for a 1-1 draw. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. Next game to predict is Plymouth versus Stoke. Now, this is a crucial game, I think, for both teams. Plymouth, kind of a bit inconsistent with their form at the moment. 3 defeats in their last 5 games. And they're in 20th place in the table right now. Joint on points now with Huddersfield Town as well. With the fact that Huddersfield managed to win their last game in this midweek. Stoke City only 2 points above Plymouth, so if Plymouth get a win, they can overtake Stoke in the table, which will be devastating on their part. Stoke's form has been shambolic. Winless in their last 4 games, which is just not good enough with back-to-back defeats. And we were just thinking that Stoke were turning a corner, and then again, another batch of games go, and then they just can't get a result anymore. And one thing that has been quite consistent is Plymouth getting at least a decent result at home park. Their only win in their last 5 was a brilliant result at home park. So I do think Plymouth might be the slight favourites actually going into this game. And as a prediction, therefore, I'm going to go for a Plymouth 3-1 win. I do think that they can get a win here and get all 3 points. If they could do it against Sunderland in the manner that they did, I would assume that they can do the same to Stoke as well. I know Stoke can definitely have some good moments of quality, but moments I don't think is going to cut it there. You're really going to have to be on it if you're going to beat Plymouth here. So I'm going to go 3-1 to the home side. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. Next game to predict is Sheffield Wednesday versus Blackburn. So both teams got an unlikely but brilliant result, especially for Sheffield Wednesday. They were against the league leaders, Leicester City. Everyone wrote them off, including me. I thought it would be tight, and I said 1-0 Leicester, and it looked like I was going to be correct with my score prediction. But Jeff Hendrick just pulls a moment of magic to get it to 1-1 in the end, which is devastating for my predictions. I generally think with the really short turnaround of games, this is when you really need to make or break your season. If you can get a good run of games here, you would be surprised how much coverage you can bring, even if you're 12 points off safety. Get a couple of good winning streaks in there. You can find yourselves maybe closing the gap from 12 to 4 points off safety, and then it looks a little bit more likely that you can get yourself out of a terrible situation like this. Blackburn are on fire right now. They're scoring so many goals, 11 goals in their last 4 matches, and they are 7th place in the table right now, and a good result here could take them within the top 6 as well. It's just a question for me that if Blackburn can carry this on, because like also Stoke, they go in good forms and then all of a sudden they then fall off a cliff again. Sammy Smolix is playing unbelievably well at the moment. He's definitely been the man of form, and I think he's the top goal scorer in this league as well. So he's definitely going to be attracting attention, I would say, with his brilliant performances so far. As a prediction here, I think we're going to get a Blackburn win here, and I'm going to go for a 3-1 victory to Blackburn. If they are clinical, anything like that they were with their game against Birmingham, I think they'll get a result. So I'm going to go 3-1 to Blackburn. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. Next game to predict is Southampton versus Cardiff. Southampton got a very narrow but a really good win against Bristol City. Carl Walker-Peters with the only goal for Southampton. And if they can win those sorts of tight games, I do think Southampton do have a chance to potentially go through the rest of the season with a good run of form. You know, you're not really going to blow teams away week on week, and Southampton probably are already aware of that now. So with Cardiff, they lost against West Brom, although it was a very, very dull game. And, you know, not much was really breaking for either one of these teams, and West Brom only got a 1-0 victory out of it. So you could argue that Cardiff did well to restrict them. Cardiff did win their last away game against Preston, of course, with a 2-1 win, but they did need the help of Robbie Brady getting sent off for Preston. I do think in this game, Southampton have looked a little bit more improved at home. Cardiff could definitely get something. I'm not going to write them off completely, but I do imagine Southampton being the more likely team getting the result. And as a prediction, therefore, I'm going to go for a 2-0 victory to Southampton. I think their defence has improved, and I do think they are now starting to click a little bit more attacking-wise. So therefore, I'm going to go for a somewhat good 2-0 home win. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. Next game today is Swansea versus Huddersfield Town. This prediction I've changed so many times, and I'm still undecided on this prediction, honestly. Swansea have lost back-to-back games. It's not really the best time to lose back-to-back games when you've got so many games popping up in a short space of time. In fact, I must correct myself. It is actually 2 defeats in their last 3 games, actually, for Swansea. But it's still not great form from them whatsoever. So in the weekend, for instance, they were 2-0 up against Hull City. They drew that 2-2 and threw a really good lead away. And then for the midweek, obviously, they went 1-0 up again, this time against Leeds United. But that's another lead where they managed to throw away as well. And if Swansea cannot maintain those leads, it's really going to be difficult for them. Huddersfield picked up an unlikely win for Darren Moore's side against Sunderland. A 2-1 away win. Who saw that coming? I'm telling you, not many people did. And right now, it has strengthened their chances to survive at the moment. They've got a very comfortable 6-point gap at the moment, I would say. And I will say 6 points is quite comfortable of a gap to still have. It only becomes uncomfortable if you lose a game and then the bottom three pick up more points. And I do say out of the bottom three, I see QPR may be the team more likely to pick up more consistent points than the other two, to be fair. So I do think Huddersfield still have a tiny bit of work to do, but they could definitely breathe a sigh of relief that the gap wasn't cut short to 3 for very long. Obviously, with QPR winning their game, Huddersfield had it all to do to make sure that they maintained their healthy gap. I think with this game, I think it's going to be very difficult to edge either one of these teams. I predicted a draw. I predicted both teams to win at my thought process with the predictions. But in the end, I'm going to compromise and then I'm going to go for a Swansea win. I find Swansea at the moment, attacking-wise, improving quite a way. And if they perform anything like they did in the first half against Hull in this game here at home, I do think they will be more likely to get a result. I'm going to go for a 2-1 victory to Swansea. I think it's going to be a close match, but I'm just got that tiny bit more confidence in the Welsh side. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. The final game to predict is a live Sunday game of Bristol City versus Norwich. It's Liam Manning going up against Norwich here, and he's had quite a fair few tests already. Middlesbrough is not an easy game for Liam Manning to really try and build everything up for the training from the international break, and to win that in the manner that they did was sensational. Now obviously Bristol City didn't manage to get a result last time against Southampton, but again a tough game for Liam Manning, and it doesn't get easier. I know Norwich in the table are only 14th place, but you do have to remember that they are nursing a lot of injuries. They're definitely scoring a lot of goals, but the only thing that's laying Norwich down is their defence. And Bristol City going forward have looked improved, especially with the fact they put 3 goals past Middlesbrough in their last home game. If they could do that here, or just have a similar level of threat going forward, I do think they can definitely get some fun here. As a prediction, I think I'm backing Bristol City here. I think they're more likely to get a result, and therefore I'm going to go for a 3-1 victory to Bristol City. I don't think I really predict Bristol City to win all that often, so I will give them a little bit of a chance here, because I do think Norwich at the moment, whilst I think attacking-wise are looking like they're starting to get out together a little bit, defensively they've not made any progress. So until I see that, I can't really back them for a result. So I'm going to go for a 3-1 win to Bristol City. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. So guys, these are my predictions for the championship for this weekend. As always guys, make sure you leave your predictions in the comments down below so you guys can have a chance to enter into the Let's Leicester Football Prediction League. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please smash the like button if you've not done so. Please also hit the subscribe button if you've not done so too. All of these things are free to do and they really do help the growth of this channel. And please also share the channel too. All these things really do help. Thank you guys so much for watching. You guys are legendary. It's the end of this video. And as always, I'll see you guys soon. Take care everyone.